Stop me, Westcoast Rob, man. And welcome to my podcast, You Bitch.
You are now listening to YeahDat, the podcast, hosted by Westcoast Rob.
The thoughts, views, and opinions you may hear on this episode are just that. My thoughts, my views, and my opinions. So if you don't like them, don't agree with them, or whatever the case may be, well, there's a simple solution to all that, and that's what? Stop listening. However, if you aren't easily offended, sit back, turn it up, and enjoy the show. YeahDat. Welcome back to another episode of YeahDat, the podcast, hosted by yours truly, West Coast Roberto. That is I. That is me. Thank you for listening. For those of you listening and for those of you watching on YouTube, thanks for tuning in. YeahDat. Oh, it's been a while since I've done a podcast episode, but sorry, work, you leave work, but then you still get text messages from work regarding work. All right, sorry, folks. So, yeah, it's been a while, man. Last episode we were talking about small packages and whether size really mattered in regards to small packages, and yes, I mean wieners. And I asked a couple questions out there for those who indulge. Ask for your opinions. Didn't get any responses back, I guess, because it's a sensitive subject. But whatever. Feel free to hit me up and let me know your points of views in regards to that. And if you haven't listened to that episode, go back and listen to it. It's funny. But for those of you watching, you see the hat, you see the charger bolt. For those of you listening, I'm wearing a Chargers fitted big lightning bolt on it because last night, dun, 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 dun. Shout out to the homie Bill Burr for doing that shit. That shit's hilarious. But my boys played Monday Night Football last night, and damn, they looked good. Shout out to the Chargers. You know what I'm saying? I always say Chargers because they left my home and moved elsewhere, but still my boys, man. I won't say the city where they moved, although that's where they're currently residing, but the Chargers. Shout out to them. Got the W against the Raiders, and it was a good game for us. But we're back with another episode of YeahDat, the podcast, and I didn't drop an episode last week because I was out of town. Your boy was out of town on business. You know what I'm saying? I went up to Philadelphia, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, or as the native Pennsylvanians call it, PA. I learned that when I was up there. I was traveling up with a lady. She let me know that they call it PA. But I was up there in Philly. I was up there for 4 days. Yeah, went up there Monday and returned home Thursday evening, afternoonish. So, like I said, I went up there on business. Now I'm an avid traveler. I like to travel. I've been to all the major cities in the United States. Even I've been to minor cities in the United States. I've seen a lot, been through a lot. I've traveled around the world. I like to travel, man. It's fun seeing places you see on TV and magazines, wherever you see it, whatever the case may be. There's cities that I still want to go to that I haven't been to. I guess. I'm sure there are. But yeah, I've been to all the major cities that I've really wanted to go to, and Philadelphia was not one of those cities that I wanted to visit. However, my trip to Philadelphia last week, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it very, very much. I was looking forward to the trip. One, because the reason behind the whole trip is my first ship that I was ever stationed on, the USS John F. Kennedy CV-67, is docked up there in the Philadelphia shipyard, which, fun fact, is the first shipyard in the United States, the original OG, triple OG, quadruple OG shipyard of the United States, and it's sitting there, and a lot of veterans who have served prior to, in the past years, on the John F. Kennedy, they go up there to visit the John F. Kennedy. However, they can't go on board. It's behind a gate, and the only way you can get on board is if you are military, active duty military, and you run it through the shipyard company right there. It's full access, but you gotta be active duty military, and it has to be for work purposes. You can't just go on and just walk around a leisurely visit or any of that. So I was given the opportunity to go, and I went with, there was a group of 7 of us. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, it was a group of 7 of us, and I only knew one person. Well, I kind of knew 2 people, but really, actually, I didn't really know anybody. I've spoken and I've seen the other 2 people I'm talking about, but everybody else I've never seen before. So we all drove up there to the Philadelphia, 2 minivans. One minivan was a government minivan, and the purpose of our trip was to go up there to the old JFK and take some relics off of it and bring it back and have it put onto the new JFK, the new namesake, which is still under construction. So they were looking for volunteers, and the people getting priority were those who have previously served on the old John F. Kennedy, which I did. I decommissioned the old John F. Kennedy in 2007. I was on there from 2004 to 2007. So the ship has been decommissioned since 2007, meaning it has not been in use since 2007 from where we were originally. It was originally down in Mayport in Jacksonville, and now it's been sitting in Philadelphia since 2007. So prior to the decommissioning, the crew was told that it was going to be turned into a museum. So before we departed the ship and was sent elsewhere, we had to fix the magazines up, and the magazines are the compartments that are below the main levels where we store the bombs and all other weapons and stuff like that. So we painted murals in one particular magazine so that during the museum tours, people can come down and observe where we were, and we can leave a little mark and a little element of us. It can be there. So I was eager. I've seen pictures because 3 of the guys who went with me on this trip, they went in the summertime, and one of the main person in charge was a lieutenant who is one of the 3 gentlemen I'm referencing, and I told him I was the magazine and the birthing, all that is me. Those murals down there, that's me. That's my people down there. So I was stoked to go on there and see what it was all about. So Monday morning, we were supposed to leave. We drove up there, like I said, 2 minivans. One was government issue, 16 packs van, 2 seats in it, because that's where we're going to put all our stuff to bring back. And then the other one was a Chrysler Pacifica van. Now I'm trying to paint this picture for you. Excuse me. I'm trying to paint this picture for you. So, the lieutenant, he's in his title is the first lieutenant because he's in charge of the bosun's mates, and the bosun's mates are the deck hands, and they're the first rate of the Navy. So the three of the individuals I rode in the van with in the Chrysler were bosun's mates. So they know the lieutenant, they work for the lieutenant. There's one guy in particular, he gets in the back seat and all the way in the back. And he's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna ride back here, all these seats recline, oh yeah, blah, blah, blah. And I'm looking, there's another seat back there available, but I'm like, all right, I'm saying, I'm trying to be all up in the mix. So then I'm sitting in the middle row, pilot seats. And then the two ladies are walking up. I know one of the ladies, the other one I don't really know. One of the ladies is lower ranking than me, so I'm like, all right, we can just make her sit in the front. And then I was like, you know what? I'm gonna sit in the back with you, and just have the two ladies sit right here, or someone can sit in the front, whatever. So I get in the back, me and dude in the back. You know what I'm saying? We got space in between us. He's on the right hand side. I'm on the left hand side. My homegirl Shay, she sits in front of me, and then the junior one, I call her Sunshine now because what I'm saying, she wasn't the brightest and had the best mood when we were there, so now her nickname is Sunshine. Sunshine was sitting in the pilot seat in front of we'll call him Raj. Sitting in front of Raj. So I'm like, yo, who's gonna sit up there with Lieutenant? You know what I mean? It's just gonna be like him chauffeuring us around, like what the fuck? Yo, one of y'all gotta sit up there. So then I tell Sunshine, I'm like, yo, you're the most junior one, you gotta sit up front. Or you the lowest rankings, you gotta sit up front. And she's like, I get car sick. I'm not sitting up there. I don't even know if I'm gonna make it sitting here. And I'm like, all right. So then I look at Raj, I'm like, yo, you gotta sit up there. That's your boss, you work for him. He's like, no, I'm good right here. And I was like, yeah, that's fucked up. Y'all just gonna let him ride up there by himself? Okay, cool, whatever. So, like I said, Sunshine said she wasn't gonna ride up there because she gets sick, and she doesn't do well on car rides. So we're kind of giving her shit, heckling her or whatever. And Raj doing the same thing. He's like, oh yeah, I get car sick too. Haha. Psych, no I don't. Blah blah blah. So we get on the road. We're taking the scenic route because apparently it was the quickest route, instead of taking I-95 all the way up. And it was nice and country as shit. Like it was going through some little country ass towns or whatever. And we're riding. Everyone got their AirPods. We're talking amongst everybody. And then we're about 2.5 hours into the ride. And Raj sits up. He was off to the side. He had his earbuds in. He was watching, I think it was Grey's Anatomy or ER. I think it was Grey's Anatomy. And he was watching on like a big ass fucking tablet. And then he puts it down. Actually, he doesn't put it down. I kind of like glance over at him, look at him. And I was like, all right, well, he dozing off and shit. He was leaned back, his hand was over his head like this. And he was leaned back, chilling. I was all right, sleeping during the ride, cool. Then he sits up, he's like, oh, sir, can we make a bathroom break? Can we take a bathroom break? LT's like, yeah, sure. 2 seconds after Raj says that, he leans over, and I don't know what drew my attention. He leans over and is just going hurling in his rental van again. So I'm like, fuck. So I got my hand on his back and I'm kind of pushing him in that direction. And I'm like, oh, he's throwing up. So Lieutenant swerves over, cuts over the big van and behind us, cuts across the lanes, parks in this fucking little rinky-dink ass gas station. And homie's hurling all over his clothes, all over the fucking armrest into the cup holder, just hurling. And he had, luckily none of that shit splashed on me because it was just bouncing off the shit. And he had food landed on his like left thigh, and I thought it was a grain of rice, and I was like, oh. And of course, everybody else hops out. It smelled like ramen. It was terrible. It smelled like ramen. So homies, he earled over over all that stuff. We all hop out. He hops out, and it's just, we open all the doors, all the windows, and it's just seeping down the back into the cargo area. We're like, man, little flies were swarming all over it, and we're like, yo, now go inside, go inside there and get some cleaning shit from the lady in there. No, it was a rinky-dink ass like gas station. Like, in order to use the bathroom, you had to go in the back, and there was like one toilet type shit. Like, it was some little raggedy ass fucking shit. So we were there for like an hour. I think it was originally like supposed to be a 5-hour drive, and we spent probably about an hour and 15 minutes in the van cleaning it out. And homie is just like, man, I never get car sick. I don't know what happened. I just think being in the back of the van just got me sick. I think I've never been in the back of the van before. I'm like, whatever, get your baby stomach ass out of here and go fucking change your clothes. So he's like, oh, where am I gonna change? I'm like, you gotta go in the fucking bathroom. So we got this food ginger ale, we got him crackers. I was like, there ain't no fucking Dramamine in there. And Sunshine was like, no, there's not. I was like, fuck. So after cleaning it up, she helped him. She helped clean it up because, you know, she's doing her motherly duties because she's a mom and shit. We get back on the road, and I asked him, I was like, man, would you eat ramen? Or what was that? He's like, no, I ate spaghetti. And I was like, what was that grain of rice on your thigh? He's like, what do you mean grain of rice? I was like, there was like a grain of rice on your left thigh. And then he's like, no, I just had spaghetti. I was like, it smelled like ramen. But I guess apparently that grain of rice was just a chewed up noodle. But we get back on the road, and thankfully it was a mild day. Like, it felt good outside because we had to ride with the windows down for like 2.5 hours. Windows down, highway, just wind blasting you in the face and shit. So we're getting up, we start to pull off, and now I'm in my head. Raj done moved to the front. Now he's sitting shotgun, and I'm back there in the back, solo dolo. And now I'm in my head. I'm like, fuck. What is it like being in the back? Like, is that gonna make me sick? So now I'm riding. I had bought a Sprite, and I was like, fuck. Maybe I'm getting sick too now. Fuck, you know, because that mental shit, that shit is real, man. That shit'll fuck with you. The mental aspect of it. I forgot what it's called. But it's fucking real, because I was in that back of that van like, oh no, I feel it coming. I'm starting to get sweaty. No. But I was good. I was kosher. So we get to Philly. You know, shout out to all my folk from Philly. You know what I'm saying? People I know, the OGs, the homegirls that I know that are from Philly. You know what I mean? No offense to everybody from Philly, but Philly is a fucking shithole. Oh my God. Like, as soon as you enter the city limits, the roads are fucking terrible. Like, what is wrong with the roads in Philly? My God. It's like when you're driving down like an asphalt street, and you know how when the construction dudes are tearing it up, and then like you're driving and you drop down a level and it's all rough. That's how the roads are in Philly. But I thought they were doing construction everywhere we went, that the roads were like that. But no, that's just how the roads are. Like, damn. So I asked the lady who we were kicking it with on the last night why the roads were like that, and she's just like, oh, they're just shit around here because of the weather. It gets cold, it snows, they put a lot of salt on the fucking roads, and it just corrodes, and it potholes, and they just get beat up. I'm like, okay, makes sense. But you enter the city limits off of 95 after you get through Delaware, and it's like rough fucking roads, and directly to the left are some fucking projects, and they're fucking ugly. My God. I know that projects are not supposed to be fucking glamorous and nice, but they're ugly as shit. And that's all you see. So then you're going, there's a lot of graffiti, which that's dope. I fuck with graffiti. But yeah, man, this is just like driving. It was like, damn, this is a fucking shithole town. You know what I'm saying? We get to the hotel. Hotel's in a nice ass area because we stayed in we were in South Philly, in the Navy Yard part of South Philly, which that area right there was legit as fuck because it was the first Navy shipyard, but it was an old base also. So the city sold the base, or the Navy sold the base to the city, where then the city took the old buildings and then like built them up and made them into like, it's like a little park area, and the buildings are legit because you have these old ass like brick buildings, and on the inside, like there's this restaurant called the Gateway, and we sat outside. We ate there about twice. We sat outside, and one time I went inside to use the bathroom, and it's just exposed ventilation, exposed brick on the inside. Man, that building was beautiful on the inside. And then Urban Outfitters, the company, their main distribution hub and headquarters is located right there in the Navy Yard, and they took a lot of the old buildings and redid them, renovated them, and made them into their headquarters. There's a cafeteria right there, and that thing was so fucking nice. Like, damn, that shit was nice, man. Very nice area. The hotel we stayed at the Marriott, and we were surrounded by research facilities because on the last night we were kicking it outside by the fire pit. It was me, one guy, and a lady who was there on business, who's like a native of Philadelphia or PA. She lives like 2 hours north of PA, but she's like, yeah, these buildings are like labs or something. And there was a group of people who were in like the little bistro area after it closed, and Raj ended up showing up after doing his little tourist thing on the last night. And I guess the group of people, after he went in there to get a beer from the little 24-hour marketplace area, they're like, oh yeah, you can hang out with us if you're up for talking science. We're talking about trying to come up with a cure for cancer, and we're just talking about research because I'm a biomechanic scientist or whatever the fuck. And he's like, no thank you, and he came out and was kicking it with us. If that was me, I'd have been all for that shit. I'd be like, hell yeah. So what are your thoughts on biomechanics? You know, I would have been eager. You know, I like to learn new things and meet new people, so I would have been all about it. But yeah, our hotel was in a nice ass area, research labs everywhere, the restaurants, there's like a park right there. If I brought my bike, that would have been a dope ass spot to ride my bike, because there was bike lanes and run lanes and shit, and it was quiet. It wasn't like a high traffic area. It was on the other side of the highway, but at the same time it was walking distance to the stadiums, because Lincoln Financial, Western Union Center, and then where the Phillies play, I don't know what it's called, those three stadiums are like right by each other, and it was all walking distance from the hotel, so about 10-15 minute walk. So yeah, man, it was cool, and there was a park right there. It was a cool little area. But yeah, Philly was a shithole, man. I mean, shout out to the people from Philly though, because the people from Philly, y'all are legit. Like, you hear about, like, you know, don't fuck with Philly fans and people from Philly, and you know what I mean. And I got a front row seat to that because I went to a Philadelphia Flyers game. It was my first pro NHL game, man. And I've been to hockey games before, but never a pro one. So it was the Flyers versus the Islanders, and like I said, the arenas were walking distance from the hotel. So Raj was already over there. I met him. We chilled at Xfinity Live, and then went to the game. And then another dude who came with us, he was at the game. He didn't let us know he was there. So we all met up, kicked it, watched the game. Had some bomb ass seats. We were center ice, fucking bomb ass seats, man. We were walking back, and there's like a gate entrance or an exit for traffic to go through. It's just like 3 or 4 lanes. There's one sidewalk on one side going the same direction as the exit, and there's no sidewalk on the other side. So a dude was like, I guess he was walking through the parking lot and is just walking across the lanes as we're walking along the sidewalk, and he's taking his fucking time, not giving a fuck. So then a car stops as he's crossing the street, and he looks over at the car and is like, "The fuck you looking at, cocksucker?" And just mugging the car, and walks on the sidewalk, and the car just pulls off. And I was just like, okay, yeah, right on, fucking Philadelphia, man, not giving a fuck. That's what's up, because the car was totally in the wrong for looking at you crossing the street where you weren't supposed to be crossing. He's a cocksucker. I just thought it was funny. I was like, oh man, that's Philly folk at its finest right there, man. And then even driving. Well, I didn't drive the whole time I was there, but riding, observing. No one lets you merge, even if you're coming onto the fucking freeway. No one's letting you merge on. We went to a Target, and you know how most Targets are called Target? Well, the Target we went to was a fucking Target. It was fucking dirty outside. Philly is dirty too, by the way. Man, it's fucking dirty. So we went in, got some shit, went to the self-checkout. I go to the register and I look, and there's no fucking bags. And I'm looking around, no fucking bags. So I asked the associate who's standing there, some chick. I was like, yo, do y'all not have bags? She's like, nope. And I'm like, you bitch. How dare you answer me like that? So then I go to a regular register. The lady was nice, but she's like, I'm sorry, we don't have any bags. I'm like, what in the fuck is going on here with no bags? Apparently there's a no bag mandate or some shit in Philadelphia or something. I don't know, but it was just weird. I had to fucking walk out with my fucking shit in my hand, all my little toiletries and shit. It was just fucking crazy. But that was that experience. And then, you know, you go to Philly, you gotta have a fucking cheesesteak. And you know, being an out-of-towner, you know what I'm saying? I know when you get to Philly, you don't say, let me get a Philly cheesesteak. You just go and you say, let me get a cheesesteak, right? So I didn't go to Geno's or Pat's, because I heard not to go to Geno's or Pat's because they're so touristy. It's not even the best cheesesteak in Philly. They're just so commercialized now, it's not even worth going there. They said, from what I heard, it was like find a little mom and pop spot, a little hole in the wall. That's where you get your fucking spot. You're the best sandwiches. So, like I said, there was dudes who came before me, like earlier in the summer. And there was a spot they were talking about called The Knicks. Shout out to Knicks. And it's over there in South Philly in the Yard. And they were talking this spot up. That, man, this sandwich is so good. We ate there every day we were here in the summertime. And you know, we'll take you there. And you know, the time we were there last week, I think the dude who took us there the times or whatever, he ate there. We were there 4 days. I think he ate there 3 out of the 4 days. So he's talking it up. He's like, man, the sandwiches are huge. You can't finish them. They're packed with so much meat. Pause. But they're fucking delicious. And then like Lieutenant was co-signing, and the other dude was co-signing. I'm like, all right. I was like, man, this shit better be good. So we pull up. There's a little line. I'm like, okay, there's a little line. You know what I'm saying? Might be legit. You know what I'm saying? All kinds of people in the line. I'm right. Okay. All right. So I go around. I'm on the rail. I'm looking at the menu. My girl Shay's on the line side. She's like, you better get in line. I'm like, I'm just looking at the menu. So Shay and Sunshine, they fucking they split a sandwich because, you know, they're talking it up. Dudes were talking it up like, this is huge sandwich. I'm like, all right. So then I'm like, Shay, buy my sandwich. Here's my money, since you're right there. And then she's like, what you want? I'm like, yo, I want a cheesesteak. Like, what kind of question is that? So then she goes up and I hear, like, can I get a Philly cheesesteak? And I'm like, ooh, tourist. Philly cheesesteak. You don't say Philly cheesesteak in Philly. But she gets my shit. I'm waiting. So, now mind you, dudes were like, yo, sandwiches are big. There's a lot of meat on it. You know what I'm saying? So, get my fucking sandwich. Sit down. I'm sitting next to Shay and Sunshine on park bench. Sunshine got some fries and shit. They got like a fried chicken sandwich, which Shay was like, here, try this piece of chicken. Shit was delicious. It was deep fried as fuck, but it was good. So, you know, I'm wrapping my shit. I'm eager. Now, before I get to my sandwich, there's a local sandwich spot here where I live that it's like a Philly place. I guess the family's from Philly or whatever, and them sandwiches are huge, man, and they're packed with meat. Like, you unwrap the shit and there's like meat everywhere. You know what I'm saying? So I'm taking that. I'm like, man, all fucking Phillies are like that. All cheesesteaks are gonna be like this one. So going back to the spot, the next, I'm sitting there, I'm unwrapping my sandwich. I'm looking, I'm like, shit ain't overflowing, man. The fuck? What's going on here? I'm like, this shit better be good. Pick it up. Bite that mug. It was good. It was good. It wasn't to the point to where it was like, oh my God, so delicious. Oh, but it was good. It reminded me of this spot where we used to get Phillies and or cheesesteaks in Washington State when I used to live up there. Those cheesesteaks were fucking fire, but this one, it was good. It was just good. So then I smash it, of course, pound it. Sometimes like, you want some fries? I'm like, yeah, I want some fries. I'm still fucking hungry. So I've smashed some of her fries. Everybody finishes, we get ready to leave because it starts to rain. We're sitting outside. I go to old dude who recommended the spot. I'm like, yo, I could have ate 2 of them sandwiches. And then he's like, oh man, you gotta get the Italian sandwich, man. That's the one you should get. And I'm like, you said all the sandwiches. I ain't eating another sandwich from here anyway. But the spot was good. I'm not gonna say it wasn't good. It was good. It was a good sandwich. It wasn't like super memorable, but it was good. And then we dipped. We went back to work. And plus, I didn't want to eat too heavy anyway because we were going back to work and sweating that shit off. But that was my cheesesteak experience in Philly. But so going back to work, we're on the ship. Being on the ship was dope because I still have videos in my phone of us like in the berthing area, that's where we lived, like where all the racks and the bunks are. And I have a video of videos of like us down there and Miho rapping. Miho's is my homie who did all the murals because he's a fucking artist, talented ass artist. He did a lot of murals around the ship, but still got videos of us down in the berthing and just all that. You know, when it was habitable, when people were living on there. So going on there, you go on the ship and it's just dark, like no lights, nothing. And I went down to where our berthing was, where the racks were, and it was crazy eerie because it seemed like everybody just up and left because there were socks laying around, paper. The stickers I had on my rack that I put on my rack are still there. There are name tags still on lockers. There's just shit. There were like pills still in lockers. Like, it was crazy, man. Even walking around to like random offices, there were just papers everywhere. It just seemed like everyone literally got up and walked off the ship. On the inside of the ship. On the outside, it looks old and rusty, but on the inside, it looks like people just left like last week. So you go down there. I went down to the mag where we did the murals, and still in pristine condition. Those of you watching, the murals are right here. Right there. For those of you listening, I'm showing the murals and the little pictures of the clips on the YouTube, so check that out if you get the chance on YouTube to see the murals. But still in pristine condition, like I said, my man, my brother Miho, talented artist, fucking did all the work, and that one with the fucking King Arthur, legit. But yeah, was able to go back to my old stomping grounds, my first ship, and see it in that condition was pretty surreal, man. Pretty surreal. Yeah, pretty fucking nuts. Like, I still knew my way around. I knew where everything was. Went down to a couple of the magazines. It was crazy. It was crazy. But my trip to Philly was cool, man. Like, I met like I said, I didn't really know the people I went with, but then I got to know them. And man, Raj, aka Ralph, let's call him Ralph, or let's call him Earl. That dude is something else, man. You ever met someone who was like, obviously they had ADHD or ADHD or ADD? Like, this dude, literally, you cannot talk to him or have a conversation with him and then expect to have it like going back and forth, because he'll talk, then you'll try to reply to him, and then he'll talk over you, like literally, and it's just constant. Oh yeah, me, my wife, this and this, blah, 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 blah. But yeah, man, that dude was something else. Sunshine was cool, even though she was somewhat of a Debbie Downer. Shay was fucking fire. She's cool peoples, man. We had a good time. Oh, fucking FDR Park. So for those of you avid old school gamers who played Tony Hawk Pro Skater, man, I think it was Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2, 3, 4, whatever the fuck. Anyways, we had breakfast one morning, me, Shay, and Sunshine. We went for a walk. And there was a park within walking distance. It was like across the street from the stadiums. So we go, it's early morning before work, and we were walking this park. Now, I like graffiti. There was this, the highway was over us, and there was a bunch of graffiti under it. So we went over there to check it out. And, I took pictures right here, like on my Instagram. Here, I have it right here. I'm showing it for those of you watching. For those of you listening, I'm showing it right here. And so I walk over, and it's a skate park. And I was like, yo, the skate park looks familiar as fuck. And it turns out it was the skate park that was featured on Tony Hawk's Pro Skater video game, which was fucking legit, man. Fucking legit. So had pictures of that. It was just real cool. We had a good time, man. And yeah, it was cool. The last night, we were just kicking outside of Fire Pit. Raj went and did the tourist thing, saw Liberty Bell, took the famous picture of, I guess, the museum, and he had time-lapsed it, and I had posted that on my Instagram, which for those of you listening, I'm showing it right now. And yeah, he saw the Rocky statue and all that stuff. So I wanted to see all that, but I didn't feel like going. I just wanted to chill last night. But yeah, that was my Philly experience, man. The area we stayed in was real nice, like I said. However, the rest of the city was kind of fucking haggard. Would I go back on a leisure trip? Probably not. On another all expense paid fucking trip via work, yeah, fuck yeah, I would go again. And we'd probably stay at the same place, so I would go again. And plus I get to rack up my Bonvoy points doing so. But yeah, that was my experience this past week in Philadelphia. I told you about Ralph, aka Earl. I told you about the cheesesteaks, the old JFK experience. We took a lot of old shit, man, a lot of cool shit. Had a good time. It was a beautiful area, but yeah, thanks for listening, y'all. And until the next episode, we'll be signing out, man. That's the episode. Yeah, that.